Headache of preparing for 3 quarterbacks as a defensive coordinator. How do you do that? How do you try to get your guys ready to what they're going to see, because all 3 guys do something different?
Yeah, I don't know, just use your experience. Okay, here's a guy that does this well, what's your plan? Here's a guy that does this well, what's your plan? Here's a guy that does both well, what's your plan? And just be ready for it and adjust. You know, they're not 3 completely different game plans, and you know, they're going to have a philosophy, what they want to do too, out of different personnel groups, just as a base philosophy and what they recruit to. Lamar's a little bit different in some ways, but in some ways he's very similar to Reggie Bonifine, and in that they're mobile and they can throw, and you know, they can extend plays. So we faced him last year, and you know, in this conference we've seen plenty of pocket guys, you know, that can execute and throw on rhythm, and you know, if they're not able to run the ball, they're going to have a hard time no matter who's at quarterback. And so I think that's what they're trying to search through, and the success that the other quarterback comes in, you know, in the second half, they're starting to run it and throw it because he's successfully thrown the quick, you know, the early down quick throwing game, you know, throwing it again on time and catchable balls, and next thing you know, they start running the ball better and things of that nature. So they always go hand in hand. You know, if you can establish a line of scrimmage on either side of the ball, everything else flows. And when there's disruption in the flow of the offense and they're playing behind the chains, that's an issue on both sides. You know, if they're successfully able to average 5, 6, 7 yards a clip on 1st and 10 running the ball, you know, it's just, you know, it's not a matter of if we lose the game, it's about how bad we lose the game. So, you know, that's always a you know, how the flow of the game's going, you know, and you know, what quarterback. I expect fully that we'll see for sure 2 quarterbacks, just because I think they like what both bring to the table, and they both have shown they've had a few mistakes in both games that have been critical, and not just offensively. They've probably made some, you know, needed to get a stop or 2 last week, and they might have a chance to win that. So I think they're looking at, we're not far away. You know, at times we've turned the ball over. They've just been real critical turnovers, and they could probably look at that single statistic alone and say that's why we've lost. That's why we're 0-2. So there's always that fine line between winning and losing, and I think they're excited about Jackson and what he brings to the table and the big play capability, and they love the stability of 14.
How much of extending plays, speaking of extending plays, did you work some this week on covering a little bit longer with your secondary?
Yeah, I mean, we just tell them, got to stay on, quit looking in the backfield. I mean, we see it with Deshaun and Kelly Bryant, and even a little bit with Schuessler. So, you know, I think it's an emphasis. Sometimes it's hard to simulate, you know. And again, you got so much time to practice. We got, you know, a whole day or so less. So you're not going to sit there and spend 10 minutes running a scramble drill. But it's certainly been something that we've talked about, and they recognize the, you know, the need to have that kind of discipline.
How much experience have you had with this quick turnaround? Because I don't believe
None.
you've had a game.
Yep, haven't done that before.
Extra taxing compared to
In some ways, yes. Some ways, yes. You just don't have enough time, or as much time, rather.